Alright, now I want to show you what is modeling panel in the Cinema 4D. When you click and hold this icon here, we can see we have many options for modeling in the Cinema 4D. First is array. If you click on it, we can see array here and drag and drop underneath this array. After that, here we can see it create, when you click on the array, it creates 7 copies from our cube. And this copy, if you click, you can change of that. For example, if you click 4 here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of that is our main object, and with that it will be 5 object. Okay, and with radius you can click and change this because here my object have many polygons. It's a little slow, but I'm gonna to add another cube, add a sample material, drag under array. Okay, that's much better. Okay, now on the array, if you click on it and change radius, you can see we can change position of our cubes here, and here we can increase that copy like this, and again you can change this radius. Okay, and here we have 2 options, amplitude and frequency. What's that? With amplitude, if you drag it and increase that, you can see it change in Y position. And here with frequency, if you change it to 1, now here when you play that, you can see it creates an animation for us. If you want faster this animation, just you should increase this frequency. For example, if I change it to 10 and play that, we can see it much more faster. And here with array frequency, if you change it, you can change this animation, and we can randomize that like this, or we can here change this to, for example, 3, 4, more options here. Okay. Another thing here is first I want to tell you what is instance. Here I have this array. If you click on this array and then here click on instance, and now here change move, now we can see it creates like a copy, but it's different with a copy. This array instance, it's different to a copy, because when you copy an object, that object will have separate geometry, separate size, separate other thing. But here it's like This is a mirror of them. And here, when we play that, we can see this is exactly like this. And in the array, if I change anything, for example here, increase that, or change this frequency, or change this amplitude, as you can see, this is exactly changed like this. Or for example, if you create another object, for example this figure, and when you click on this figure and then here click on the instance, and now change that here, we can create another copy, another figure instance from this figure. And if we change anything from this figure, for example here, when I decrease this segment, we can see it's exactly like this segments about these two. And for example, if I change high and anything from this, it's automatic change on this figure stance. Okay, that's really good. Now I'm gonna to delete these items. Okay, now here we have another option that name is atom array. If you click and add it, and now when you add another cube, change it to here, and here drag this cube to underneath atom array, and we can see it creates 3D object from these segments. Here our cube is one segment for X, one segment for Y, and one segment for Z. Now if I change, for example in the X, I want change to 5. Wow, here we can see it creates another atom array for them. Or for example 5 in Y, 5 in Z. It will be like this. It's really good. And when you click on the atom array, you can change the size for cylinder radius or sphere radius. For example here, if I change this, we can see we can change the size for this cylinder radius or this sphere radius. That's really good. And here with subdivision, if you change and increase or decrease, you can see we can change the segments are for our atom array. You can use for any object. For example, here if I add a landscape, drag it here, for example the scroll, that and increase these options, change segments, rough, scales, sea level, and For example, this is okay. For now it's good. Okay, now I'm gonna to reduce width segment. I think 100 or 150 is good. Okay, it's good. And now here underneath atom array, and then waiting to see what's happening now. Okay, wow, it's really good. It changed all that to that segment to atom array, and here change I think if we change it to 2, maybe 2 is good for a sphere radius, and we can see what's happening now. And for if we turn around, we can see that. And for cylinder radius, if I change it to 0.5 now, we can see it's much better. You can use atom array for all objects. And now, for example, if I add a material to this atom array, we should waiting for what's happening now, and that's really good. You can create very cool things with atom array. Okay, I'm gonna to delete these items. So here is good. Okay, next is bool. Bool is Boolean like 3D Max object, and for that I'm gonna create another sphere. Drag it here, and a little top is better. Okay, that's good. And now select sphere and that cube, select all of that, and drag and drop underneath bool. Wow, as we can see, it's delete that area is connecting with cube and that sphere. It's very cool. And if I change that, okay, if we change position of cube, it's delete, again subtract that cube like this. You can change it anytime. And here if I drag a cube on top of sphere, now that process it's inverse, and now cube is the main, and that sphere is affect on that cube. And for example here it is subtract our object here. Okay, a little when we change it, we can see what's happening. And here in the Boolean type, first default is a subtract b. That means what's happening now, a subtract b. And next is first is a union b. In the a union, if I turn on this segments here, turn on show that, we can see it's connect these two objects with union like this. And next is subtract. I was show you what's happening. It will be like this. And next is intersect. If you click on the intersect, it select that area between cube and sphere. That area which between your two objects, it's selected. And next is a without b. If you click on this, it's like subtract, but in here we don't we haven't that filling. And if we change it to a subtract b, here as we can see we have filling here. Okay, that's really good. And next is spline mask. Spline mask, I was told you about that here. It's exactly like this, but we have another option for that in modeling. I was teach you how you can use that, but for now, again, I want to show you what's that. For now, I'm going to create a star, drag it here, and I think flower is good, drag it here, and now change the position. Okay, and now here add spline mask, and then select these two spline and drag and drop underneath spline mask, and now we can see it's connect these two spline, and when you click on spline mask in the mode, we have some options. First is union, A subtract B, B subtract A. It's like for example here A subtract B, B subtract A, and or for example intersection. It's exactly like Boolean, just this is for spline, and bool is for 3D objects. Okay, next is connect, that I will teach you in the cloner. Now I want to show you what is Metaball. Metaball is very useful options in the Cinema 4D. When you click on it, and I'm gonna to delete that option. Okay, now drag it here, Metaball, and now add a cube, drag and underneath this Metaball, drag this cube here, and now we can't see anything here because we our cube hasn't any segment. Now I'm going to change and increase the segments, and now we can see what's happening in the Metaball. Okay, now I'm going to increase all value, and here we can change editor subdivisions. Okay, very good. And now click on it and change X, Y, and Z to 100 because I need it a little now. Okay, what's oops, here 100. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to create another sphere. Find it and drag it here. Oh, oops, what's happening? Okay, again create another sphere, drag it here, and drag this sphere under this Metaball, and now as we can see, it's combined these two objects together, and when we change the sphere, we can see what's happening now. It's like water or oil or other liquid things. We can create many liquid things with Metaball. Okay, now when you click on the Metaball in the editor subdivisions, if you increase that, if you decrease that, we can see we have more details here. And now when we change, first add the material that for see what's happening, and here select that. Okay, now when we change this sphere, you can see it's really cool. If here we can increase that sphere, and then now when we change that, we can see what's happening now. I will teach you how you can create water with Metaball. It's very useful things. Or you can create plastic, water, and other things you can create with the Metaball. Okay, that's really cool. Now I'm gonna delete that, and next is Symmetry. Symmetry, it's exactly like a mirror. If you use these options and click on it and create that, now we should add a object, for example, add a cube, drag it here, change subdivision 10 10 10 is good, and now drop this cube underneath this symmetry. That's good. And now when we turn around here and click on the symmetry here, we can change tolerance. I will show you what is tolerance. And here you can see mirror plane, and for now you can see it's duplicated. For now I'm gonna delete this array, and here if you click on the symmetry with tolerance, if you turn and change it to much and increase that, we can see what's happening. But for now this cube is not good for this, and I think if I change another object for show you what is this symmetry exactly, is much better. And for that I'm gonna to use another object. I think if I show you with this object is much better than that simple cube. Drag it here and delete it, drag this cube under this symmetry. That's really good. Now when we change that cube to here, and now when you zoom in, you can see how these are connecting together. And when we increase that, now we can see how these two connect. It's connecting to these two objects connecting to each other. And when we change that a little more, it's like this. And again in the symmetry, if I turn it to X and Y, it's like this. And now if we increase this tolerance, wow, now we can see these two objects connect together because we increase this tolerance. And now you can see these two objects. It's really cool. If I click on the cube and change the position, you can see how these objects connect together. And if I turn around that, you can see what's happening now. Okay, to here. Again, you can see how these two objects connecting. Okay. Now I'm gonna delete this symmetry. Next thing I want to show you a Python generator, cloner, and volume measure and volume builder. I will teach them separately in this class, but in another lecture I will teach you how you can use them. Because for example, just this cloner, it have another menu, or volume builder. For example, here MoGraph, it's many options, and I will teach you in other lectures. You can see them in this class, but for now I can't I don't teach them. For now I want to show you what is LOD. For that I'm gonna to open another project. This is okay, this is good. Okay, now we have three objects with three polygon. The first low poly, first middle, and the last is high polygon. And now you can see how many segments each objects have, like this. This is for middle, and this is the next objects, the high polygon. And then when you add change it to shading, just we can just shading. Okay, now if you from here add LOD option, click on it, and then okay, change the position at the same, click on it and drag this position to here. Very good. Now select all objects and drag and drop underneath LOD. Very good. And LOD it's have many options, but here popular is screen surface. With screen surface, when we change the roll in and roll out, we can see when we closer to our model, it's automatic change to middle polygon, and next it change to high polygons like this. And when we change the camera, we can see 3 versions of our object like this. It's very useful in our project. And if you roll in and roll out, you can see how you can change between them. And here in here we can change these lines and change and show that when you want appears that 3 objects like this. If you click, for example, this is show that cube 1. If you click this line and drag to left and right, you can change that. And for example, if you drag it to right, this red, drag it to right, so like this. Now you can see it's sooner show up that middle polygon project, and for the last object you can see what's happening now, and you can adjust for showing your object with these 3 lines. That's really good. Okay. And in the next video, I will teach you what is deforming object in the Cinema 4D. I hope you like this tutorial.